Morning.
Guys.
Oh, yeah, shoot it. Yeah, go watch it go.
Super quick pack up and brekkie this morning to beat the oncoming rain. Sausage face. Pack up, cooking some brekkie, and then off to Gwalia for a couple of hours. The big museum there, that will keep us very occupied.
That one's an aircraft.
Got some forage happening on the campfire for breakfast.
Yeah, it's getting mushy.
It's getting there.
Alex has been so kind as to lend me a grind. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
G'day, future Alex coming to you once again from the land of funny hats where we make tacos, not war. Look, I'm quick running out of weird things to put on my head. And you know what else is running out fast? These amazing shirts in the Intense merch shop. Shameless plug there, guys. Go over to intenseoffroad.com/shop and pick up a shirt. Still got a few sizes left there, and I would greatly appreciate the support. Now, back to your scheduled programming.
What sort of camera is this, Steve?
It's a German Linhoft 5x4 Technica. These were classed as field cameras, you know, ones you carried around.
This is portable.
This is portable. Yeah, this was classed as a portable camera.
Where did you get it?
Japan. Yeah, I'll look.
Yeah.
Upside down. Yeah, it is upside down. And this is a spot meter. Has a 1 degree, so you can take a very accurate reading.
For your exposure?
Yeah.
Setting up a cool old shot with an old camera.
In the old days, he would, the likes of Ansel Adams, he would take 2 or 3 readings and then work out the medium exposure to get the shadow and highlights detail. See, even this has to be work on exposure values
On spot.
there. Then you've got to correlate that to your actual exposure. As I say, we're on 11 now of exposure value. Then you have to work out what ASA you use. I'm using 100 ASA.
Yep.
ISO. Sorry.
ISO, ASA, yep.
Yeah. So I'll get a 60th of 5.6.
Yep.
At that.
And that then tells you what to do with the camera. Do they do a chest mount so you can like do a GoPro?
Yeah.
Take action shots?
Yeah. Annie Schwarzenegger course comes with it.
Having his photo taken.
He's making it happen. Well, now you've got to load some film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your film. So that's you preload it into that cassette in a
just
dark
put it
place,
there.
don't you?
Reset the shutter. Put the dark side in. there. Take the tape off. I put the tape on to so it's loaded. And you also I write on what the film is. I see these slides here. You have a black and a white side. So you pull it out. Take your shot and you turn the black side so you know it's exposed, so you don't double expose. But some of these old slides, you leak a bit of light because the fur that stops it. I mean, these are 60 years old, some of these. Right, that's that one. And then we turn it round, put that back in. So we know we've taken one. That's ready for next exposure. But we used to do this all the time. This is the ones we use. And the monorails, they're like 2 bellows. So when you did your exposure, you had to calculate for the loss of exposure within the bellows, the light absorbency.
Wow.
Complex stuff.
Yeah, but they were technical, so they wanted high grade photography. You're showing a crack in a submarine hull. They wanted to know exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Filmed here at Gwalia before, like 5 years ago, but things have changed. We've come a long way. This whole little town, mining shanties and stuff, has all been redone by the locals. So I think it was about 1960s the mine closed down, most people moved out, they left all the buildings here, and yeah, locals from Leonora just up the road, and some that actually still live here, have rebuilt all these shacks just as they would have been when the town first sprung up. The mine actually operates again now. It's now an open cut though.
Play it.
In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will
Everybody meet Ken.
It's a steam engine called Ken, and he was used to collect wood to fire boilers and line shafts and that sort of thing out on the Woodlines trails. Pretty cool. Since I was last here in 2015, Gwalia has received a grant from the government to fix everything up. It's really cool. I've just gone through some of the houses and patched them up, made them a bit sturdier, and I'll show you soon. Up there's some big mine headers, I forget what they're technically called, but they were quite falling apart when I was here last, and they have completely stripped them down, replaced all the timbers that were rotting, a lot of the bolts, and fixed them up to be good for the future. So Gwalia is not dying. I recommend that you get out here and check it out. They're really revitalising the place, and it is one of the best museums I've ever been to. This is the mine lookout, and when Gwalia was first a thing, it was all tunnels underground. I don't know when they went open cut, but they went open cut, and I'll point out some cool stuff to you at this lookout.
So, if you're looking really close across the other side of the pit, you can see a hole. And that is a remnant of the old mine tunnels from when it was not open cut. Open cut, but it also goes underground again now. So instead of it being men with pick and axe, they're following that road down, and you can't see it from here, but just under there, it goes into a tunnel where all the vehicles are going. And down there, we've got a truck dumping some old ore. And so they're taking it out from in here, deep underground, and just filling in the old open pit mine with the removed ore.
This is the original head frame. Obviously it's been rebuilt, and it used to be a bit further down that way. And they've taken it up to the top of the hill here to be the main attraction. In that big shed there is the original steam winch that they used. 1,000 horsepower of steam pulleys and pistons on these big steel ropes. The actual shaft went down on this 45-degree angle there. It wasn't common to have a head frame actually go down on a 45-degree angle and having a shaft like that, but that was the most efficient way, so they got it done. The woodwork is fantastic. You don't see anything like it these days. And those big carts would be winched up, and as they got to the top, it would tip them. And then the ore would come down here and be sorted. And also, they had elevator cages that went down as well. There was one man in control of this steam winch. He had a really important job, so there's buckets coming up and down, there's elevators coming up and down. One time he got it wrong, and the result of that snapped a bloke in half.
It's huge.
Wow, that's a big steam engine.
I haven't read the sign, which I know is in here about it somewhere, but I believe the bell is dinged every time the thing's due to be wound up from the mine. So that's the cue for Mr. Operator, who would sit on this chair, to wind it back up.
Now you see all these things here. These are all wooden copies of the parts of all of this winding machinery. This big wooden gear here.
They're wooden because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and if this machine breaks, it takes them forever to get new parts from Fraser and Chalmers Ltd in England. That's what it says on the machine I'm reading behind me. So they had wooden copies of these parts, and when it breaks, they would make a cast out of iron in the sand, so make a sand cast and cast their own parts.
Operational bed and breakfast. Be a bit of an impressive place to stay, I reckon.
So I'm sitting on the back porch of Hoover House, It's called Hoover House for a very good reason. It's been completely restored. It's beautiful, perched right on the edge of the open cut mine, which nearly consumed it by the look of it. I can't remember the year that this place was built, but it was built by, and this one's for you. What was that? Camera did something weird.
Weird.
This one's for you American viewers, you'll find very interesting. Your 31st president, Herbert Hoover, was a mine manager and actually spent a lot of years in Western Australia managing our mines, gold mines. So Herbert Hoover had this house built for a cost of, would have been pounds at the time, 600 of them, when the average cost of a home like this was about 100. So it's quite a lavish place. So yeah, Herbert Hoover managed the mine. It was going before he came along. He made it turn a bigger profit and made it quite successful. I've heard mention that maybe he was a bit of a tough bloke as president, and it sounds like he wasn't much different as a mine manager. Really screwed people down, made people work in some pretty average conditions, especially the Italians. But boy, you've got a lavish house here, and you can actually stay here. It's a bed and breakfast. It's really nice. I want to do that sometime. Got beautiful gardens surrounding it. We're in the middle of just Goldfields desert. Everything's so barren except for this garden, which will be kept alive by dewatering from the mine.
Well, this is
just
now I
seriously
feel,
awesome.
I feel just like Herbert Hoover. He would have sat here having tea and scones. Now we got coffee, but he would have been having scones, looking out over the mine.
Yeah.
Over his wealth.
Look at that.
Chair and drag it over.
So you spoke to the people who stayed here last night, eh?
Oh, the lady, she's so happy to be
Beside
here.
herself when she's very comfortable.
Everyone's hopping in their cars ready to go. It's gone 11. We haven't left Gwalia yet. So we've got to go up to Leonora, refuel a couple of provisions from the store and get driving for the day. Oh, and by the way, I've probably been saying Gwalia all wrong. I've heard it pronounced as Gwalia. Sorry about that. Well, apparently there used to be a town here. There is literally nothing except an old well and a dumped car. So, Boxers Well, thought to have been constructed in 1906, but renovated by the Shire in the 70s. And alongside that is the old telegraph line. We've still got the wires on the ground there, and that was a party line, they called it, that ran between Lawlers, I don't know where that is, and Leonora. And a party line meant that everyone who was tapped into that line along the way could listen in on anyone's conversation. So pretty much whatever you said along the party line, don't say anything too private or it's just going to become Goldfields common knowledge. How many bodies?
I reckon you could
down there.
fit a couple of families in there.
Sheer deep one.
Yeah, at least
here in the car?
about 12 metres, huh?
Is it 12 metres?
About 12 metres.
This is the former site of Doyle's well, which was in response to mining out here as usual, having trouble finding water. They sunk a well here, but instead of there being mines or any sort of station around, it was like a reserve just for a resting place.
4 tennis courts,
A bowling alley
a skating rink.
and the swimming pool. 2 large windmills provided ample water, and there was an oval beside the hotel for cricket and football. And to top it off, a lighting plant provided power and lights. Here, apparently, in the middle of nowhere.
Far out. So, 1936. 1997, the structure was falling apart, but somehow it must have been refurbished a couple of times because it was still serving in 1950.
So this place really was like just a resting place, just for fun. A bowling alley. The swimming pool. Actually, have a look. It's got a picture of the swimming pool when it had water in it. Well, I tell you what, folks, how good is it? The old hotel. Ah yes, it also served as staging for Cobb & Co coaches. Tu as your fell. Day 4? Oh, I don't know, I'm losing count. What's in it?
So it's a bit of a last night's leftovers. It's going to be a bit of a hot dog jaffle.
Pickle.
Pickle.
Onion. Sausage.
Cheese.
Aged bovine lactation. And of course some sauces. Hot dog jaffle. Do it. Do it. Hot dog jaffle.
Okay.
Good. This is one of the last stops on our Agnew loop before we hit the tarmac and go west towards Sandstone. And this is Lawlers. There is nothing left except for crap as far as the eye can see. No buildings, just tin and bricks. When it comes to megaphones, they weren't putting boots on caterpillars. Look at this thing. This is how you call your troops in for dinner. Meat's on the boil! The beers are cold! God, it's hefty. Now what is this really?
It's a jack.
No jack I ever saw.
It's a jack.
Apparently it's a bottle jack. Quick fact, this thing is a mobile boiler. This is a very small one. Larger versions of this would use up to 2,000 litres per hour and 1 tonne of wood. That's 2,000 litres of water per hour in this dry, inhospitable place where it's hard enough to find a drink. Okay crew, we're on the tarmac now till we're across to Sandstone. And might be gravel just north of there to get to camp, but should be at camp in about an hour and a half, I think.
Roger.
Whew. There you go, guys. That is the end of day 5. Day 5. It's dark, it's 8:15, so I can't show you around camp. I'm just going to sign it off for the day. Thanks again for watching. We've got 2 days left of these daily videos. If you're enjoying them so far, make sure you get on over to Patreon, patreon.com/intenseoffroad. Join up there if you want to support some of these videos. And of course, check out intenseoffroad.com for some merch. Got some shirts over there. We'll see you bright and early in the morning, and we will explore Lake Mason Homestead.